recording.
We're on?
We're on.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kings of Sinks Season 5 competition. We are now in round number 2, and I'm joined here with the host with the most, Blue Leaf. Say hello.
Hello.
And now we're ready to...
Hi.
Oh, wait, what? Hi? You're still
hi.
going your hi?
Hi, I'm Blue.
Most awkward hello ever, but it's all good. But anyways, we're here with round number 2, and we have 24 competitors in this round fighting for 10 slots. Only 10 individuals from this round will make it to the Kings of Sinks Season 5 finale. And before we even get into these results, I just have to say, these scores were just absolutely close. It was absolute nail-biter for this round, and all of these sinks were pretty much solid to the core, and I'm ready to go through these. But before we do that, we do have an announcement in regards to those that did not finish their sinks, and those names include Make It Rain, Jiaju Miyogu. I think that's the Chinese guy's name. I probably botched it, but that's okay. And then Joni What. And those guys will probably be receiving penalties for not submitting their entries without really much notice, considering, and we'll just keep this in mind, that those that do not submit in round 2, it easily cucks over someone in round 1 that could have submitted in round 2 and could have competed in round 2. For those example, people finished in like 27th or 28th that did not get the chance to replace anybody. They should have had the chance to submit their sinks. So keep in mind, gentlemen, make sure to submit your sinks. Even if it's a day or two late, you take it's all good. It's fine. Just make sure to submit close to or on time. And also, we did have some replacements throughout this competition. We did have Joni What was supposed to replace Jarrell, who dropped because I believe he's serving in the Russian army now, or Russian armed forces. And then we have the Half Beast, who replaced Toverniak, who Toverniak had equipment issues and stuff like that. So Half Beast will be is now in the running. So that's why you see his submission out there. And then the NGS has been replaced by GMLX. So without further ado, now we can actually jump into these results and go from there. So we do have 21 submissions, and finishing in 21st place with a grand total of 16.96 points. And this is kind of the big drop-off sync compared to the rest of the field here. But we have Wing Overwatch Gunsync, who did his round 2 entry on Bleeding to Death. And I believe this was a Modern Warfare 2 sync, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was. I think it's a DLC map. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely does not look familiar to me, the maps. Yeah, it's probably DLC. I have to say, it's pretty sad that I'm not able to keep up with my games as much as I used to. But anyways, he jumps into the sync. It kind of feels like he just wasn't prepared to move on to this round, as far as what I'm seeing, because just based off the intro alone, he says, I guess it's time for round 2, and it just felt like he wasn't really prepared. But we jump into the sync itself, and I'm immediately noticing some problems with the sprays, where he sprays the weapons to try, like, there's certain beats that just do not match the sprays, and also he does not differentiate the sprays really well, as in like it's just not consistent. The sync is not really fully consistent, and it feels like it's like 75% complete instead of like 100% complete. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my big critique on this sync. But I do have to congratulate Wing for making it to this round in general, where his last sync was absolutely awesome. Yeah. We would love to see more entries like that in the future, or if he can step up from that.
Oh, definitely. He's a very good sinker.
Very talented.
Yeah. Should I go on to my critique?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, man.
Alright, for me, the sink just felt a bit rushed. Some of the sprays didn't really work with pitch shifting and stuff, How do I say this? I just didn't really like the composition of which sounds were put, and yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. The sync had some good effects, but it just didn't hold up, I guess. It just didn't feel smooth enough.
It felt like it was kind of jagged,
yeah, exactly.
If I may interject, like you like the syncs where it's nice and smooth and it transitions well, and it doesn't have to transition visually necessarily. I mean, or I should say, visual transitions are nice, but audio transitions more so. Where if it seems jagged, where certain weapon sounds are in different spots that don't really blend in well. But I don't want to say blend in, but more so fit the set beat. And if it's just jagged, it kind of feels messy and clumsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's definitely our biggest critique, Mr. Wing. But I do have to say, congratulations for making it as far as you did. And you, for the record, you are a very talented singer, along with the many others that competed in this competition. Those in round number 2. So with that, we're going to move on to 20th place, finishing with 20th place with a total of 40.59 points. We have Explorer Gunsync, and I have to say, pretty much his sync was solid. Like his sync was good, for at least what I've seen. But compared to what I've seen from him before, this is definitely a step down compared to his round 1 submission, and it just feels like an average sync. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing for me. There's not really anything wrong necessarily with like the audio and the beats. And I love CS:GO, and it was really nice to see CS:GO being synced, because it's usually not as common to see CS:GO syncs anymore, especially when we used to see in the Pioneer days and Nerdbox and PUBG. So it was nice to get that feel of CS. And that was a bonus for me. But I'm not a judge, unfortunately. But we jump into the sync, and it's I mean the titling is nice. I love the topography for that was there, but that was really the only thing that kind of really stood out to me in this sync. It was just the sync didn't really have any big standout. Where it was good, pretty solid, nice weapons choice. Audio maybe could be touched up a little bit, but just other than that, it just was an average, ordinary sync. And unfortunately, in this stage of the game, what average, ordinary syncs is not what's going to help you move on to the finale, and especially in a competition like this.
Yeah. Like, this sync, I actually really liked it. Even though I didn't score it that high, it's just a standard sync. There's nothing really that special to it. All the sounds fit really well, and it's like the text. It all looks very nice, but the song just isn't complex. It just doesn't lend itself to technical complexion. It had a groove, it had a vibe, but at this stage in the competition, you need to lend yourself to songs with so much technical complexion that, well, else you're not gonna hold up, because this is just your everyday future-based song with vocals, you know. It's kind of like the same with Happier by Marshmello. It's just, of course it has a groove, it has a vibe, but it just doesn't, it's just not complex. It just doesn't lend itself to technical complexion, where you can really put that extra bit into your sync, which this sync then also lacks, you know.
And I think a big part of it is as well, like we did see Explorer submitted just before the deadline and stuff, somewhere in the August 30th, 31st, or 29th range, around there. And obviously, you know, if people have commitments, school, everything like that, you know, we understand and stuff like that for the record. And pretty much every one of these guys submitted solid syncs regardless. But And we notice that the video length is 342 on this guy. So even if you make a sync that's like 2 minutes or a minute that like really pops and is like really cool and stuff, like that's better than an average 3-minute 40 sync. And considering what I've seen from Explorer, I definitely was hoping to see more from Explorer, considering what we've seen in the past and how close he was to the finale last year, and like just the wacky, wild ideas that he'd have. But I do have to say though, Explorer, it was good effort. You know, you put in a good sync, but just good syncs are not good enough to get into the finale like we want. Because the people in the top 10 who made it have outstanding syncs, whether it's from an audio perspective or whether it's from an audio perspective or a transitional or visual perspective. It definitely adds to it. But with that, we're going to move on to 19th place with a grand total of 4440. We do have Lightname VN. And Lightname opens it up pretty cool. Really nice cinematic pan on an Advanced Warfare map that I definitely don't remember the name of.
That's, I think, Ascend.
Ascend, there we go.
Or Horizon, no, this is Horizon, I think.
Horizon, okay. But anyways, he jumps into the song. It seems like it's like a nice, strong start, and I do love the how Lightname starts out the gate nice and strong. But I guess it's just one of those things, like whether it's with the song or whether it's with more so, I think it's just the song choice in general. It just feels like there could have been a little bit more potential with the song in particular, but overall we still have a very solid sync from Lightname. Not really anything visual to add into it, you know, like no visual pop-ups or transitions or anything like that. But I do have to say I like these type of syncs in particular to show this is the ordinary way of syncing and the good basic solid way of putting out an entry. And while an entry like this will get you out of round 1, I think for sure, if done correctly. Round 2, you got to step it up a little bit more than that. But other than that, like I feel like Lightname did his job and did what he had to do. And this was a very solid entry. And Lightname's definitely one of my personal favorites in the field, for sure. Especially from the Vietnamese community. He's time and time again, he's consistent. Ever since season 3, he's been so consistent. And even with, I totally just banged my desk. Ever since season 3, he's just been consistent. Even with school and everything going on for him and everything like that, and he's just been awesome. And I got to give this guy a lot of credit. He's come a long way, and this entry is pretty good, pretty solid. Good stuff, Lightname.
Yeah, this scene, it was well synced. It was. There just wasn't enough going on. The sync. It's good. It's well done. As the syncing part, the composition, everything is. I wouldn't change how it's mixed, mastered, how it's even put together, but like there isn't enough technical complexion. Like this sync scored for me. Note accuracy and gun choice a 9, mixing and mastering a 9.5. Technical complexity and composition a 3, effects and theme a 2, and a personal subjective score of a 6.5. So, yeah, and that it's just nothing special, but at least it's well produced. Like you can see the clear disconnect from 2 of the scores and the other 2 of the scores. That are personal subjective taste.
And I feel like Lightname's pretty much on the same boat as Explorer here.
Yeah.
But I feel like Lightname definitely did a better job of making the 2 minutes 20 seconds really count more compared to Explorer's sync. But I'd say Lightname definitely is on that same boat where, I mean, and when we talk about effects sometimes too, you don't have to do something super fancy. I mean, while it's nice and it's cool and it's badass. We want to see, you know, like whether it's a change in CC or like a composition. That's a touch that could change a lot of the sync. And obviously we understand that people have rendering problems and stuff, so that's we always take that into account as well.
Yeah.
for the record. Because certain syncers may not have the best PCs to add in those effects. And those syncers should still get a chance, but not like a leg up necessarily, but more of a chance to get in as well.
Exactly. Like, this sync was just a good sync. It was a solid sync. The syncing part of it, I wouldn't have done any different. It was just perfectly synced, like, in my eyes, for what Lightning does. All the beats connect, it all works, but there just isn't enough going on.
And with that, we're going to be moving on to 18th place with a grand total of 47.52. Yeah, 47.52. There we go. I thought I was reading that right. But finishing in 18th with a grand total of 47.52, we have Cuda, who also went through a identity change or name change. His name is now I Wish I Was Never Born, which that sounds kind of depressing. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to try not to say that name too often. But I'm just going to say Cuda, like I was in round number 1, and he decided to do a Post Malone song, which is definitely an interesting choice. Obviously, with hip hop and rap, the beats it kind of limits what you could do in terms of like song choice, but Cuda did a great job in making the most of this song.
Oh, definitely.
And I definitely like that. It was, and definitely the Battlefield sounds really mixed in well with the Battlefield sounds mixed in really well with this song, and it made it sound smooth, crisp, and consistent. And I really like even the drop was really good.
Oh yeah, the drop was just yeah. I think this sync suffers from the same issue that the other syncs so far did. This one is also, yeah, this one is just a bit cleaner, like in the delivery. Like if
And
you
then
look
I
at,
also
yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was also gonna mention too. There was also some like small potential of effects that were added in too, which I'm not sure if
yes,
you know,
those actually got them higher up.
Like at the 124 marker, like you noticed how like when the beat went off, there was like these 3 weapons that showed up on the top, and then like it popped out a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that was
He added an effect where it like brightened up, which is pretty cool. Something simple like that. Where, but at the end of the day, Cuda also under. I mean, we're probably gonna be saying this for a lot of those sinkers out there, at least a good chunk or a good majority out there. That these sinkers here feel like they just have to step it up a little bit, tiny bit more. But this sync was still at its full. I don't want to say it's at its fullest potential, but it definitely outdid the potential of this song.
Oh, definitely.
Which is definitely something I give Cuda a lot of credit for, and he's. It's very hard, especially with a song like this, and obviously this was a remix. Like there was a remix, and there was a couple of beats that were added in, like to add to it. Yeah. But it was still a pretty good, solid overall sync.
Definitely. This sync, how do I say this? This sync, lots of Twixter. Like my PC couldn't fucking handle that.
Oh really?
No, like if you look at the sync itself, you can see that he uses a lot of Twixter in the reloads in the beginning. So
yeah, I do notice that. That was definitely really nice. I like that.
That's fucking beautiful. And like
it adds like the smoothness of the sync for sure. It makes it flow like when you do reloads like that. And a lot more people are starting to use Twixter, which has definitely been coming in handy. And I remember, I don't want to get off track here, but I remember the first person I remember using that was Unknown Physics back in season 1, who did those like reload sounds and like the dancing chicken in the dancing chicken sync.
The dancing chickens! Ah!
Like that we're talking about. That's old school. That's real old school.
Hit him with the old school.
Yeah, like that's. But the point of us mentioning that is like we love when people use Twixter, it adds so much to the sync, even by just adding.
It just adds character. It just adds so much character to it.
Oh yeah, and it makes it smooth, which is cool. But go ahead, we'll continue.
Yeah. The sync. It's. How can I make a metaphor for this? This sink is kind of like a fireplace. It's nice, cozy. It just feels warm because there is so much character and flavor to it, and you can really feel like how much like little details Kira actually paid mind to. Like he actually put so much detail into this sink. The little reload twixters, the little popping up screens in the at the drop at the 55 marker, 55 seconds marker. You can see that for every switch of the notes, he uses a different weapon. Yeah. Not just the sync. The sync is just flavor, but no eye candy, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, and I think it's just the big issue. My biggest thing with this one is I think it's just the song kind of limited him. It's the song choice really was the big because he made this song really count. And imagine if he picked a different song and did something similar. Small eye-catching things, like very small things like that, definitely adds more to the sync, and could have definitely put him higher on the leaderboard for sure. So I would say if he picked a different song, although I love Post Malone and Post Malone's cool and all, and the remixes of them are pretty decent, pretty cool. I just think that his song choice is really what held him back on this one. Let's move on. So finishing in 17th place with a grand total of 50.65 points, we do have VTC 1999, the DDR Gunsinker. And to be honest, I was kind of disappointed to see him this far down the leaderboard, because personally I feel like he should be a lot higher, and that's just that my opinion. But I think the reason why the judges hit him this time round with the scoring, because he was at a 68 or 69 in round number 1, and it's just this sync, I suppose, was pretty much the same. He went with the same approach as he did the last time, and I think that's what the judges are kind of like, oh, this is just kind of the same thing as last time. So it's but overall, the sync that we're seeing here, pretty solid and pretty awesome throughout. Like I just love his dance moves. Like I can't get over how good he is at dancing. Like he's got a lot of talent, this guy. Not just through this, not just from a gun syncing perspective, but also dancing. He could join like a dance team or like.
I think he is already in a dance team. I don't know. Like he's really fucking good at this shit.
Yeah, and like I'll be honest though, I feel like I paid a lot more attention just to him dancing than the sync. Maybe that's why he also got hit a little bit with the score, where it was where the eyes would tend to focus on the dancing man more compared to the actual weapons. But obviously that also adds to it and makes it cool and gives it more perspective. And what I found, which was really funny, was just a random note, the two guys behind him staring at how he's dancing. They're just like, wow, he's dancing like a badass and stuff.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just noticed that myself too, and I just thought that was really funny that that's there. But
holy shit,
real,
this guy has some moves.
Oh yeah, but this guy was pretty solid, absolutely amazing sync, and it's solid. But it's just, I guess it's just one of those things, once again, that the guys that are ahead of him are those that really stepped up in trying to make syncs that really stood out or trying something a little bit different. I would just say maybe let's keep the theme going. I love the theme. The theme is great. But maybe play around with that theme a little bit. Like maybe
add some more effects, transitions.
Yeah, exactly.
As he's like sliding to the left to the right, he can maybe put the pan crop of him dancing to the left hand side of the screen, to the right hand side of the screen,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. But there's not really much I could say. There's not really much I could say about this thing because it was just really good. It was still awesome.
It was still awesome. Thing. But I think it's like I gave this a pretty high score myself. But what I think most people, most of the judges, what I found with the sync is that it's basically the same thing he did in the first round, but with a slightly better song.
Slightly faster too.
Slightly faster too, yeah, definitely. But like,
I noticed that he was sweating a lot more after that one for sure.
Oh yeah. Still really impressive.
Yeah, awesome sync, and also congratulations on 600 subs, by the way.
Yeah,
good stuff. I might send in a question for that Q&A if he's still doing it, or if I have some time. But good stuff, BTC, and we definitely hope to see you again in competition next year. And you never know, you might come in to replace one of the top 10 if there's been historically a decent amount of drops. So we'll have to see what happens. So with that, let's move on to 16th place. With a grand total of 53.47, we have Commando Derp, or he also changed his name as well to now Low HP Media. But I'm just gonna keep calling him Commando Derp just because I'm just so used to calling him that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I just have one critique really for this particular, because it started off all badass. It was fast. It was awesome. You know, cool transitional effects on the top right, but just an unfinished sync. Cuts off an abrupt time, and Commando actually finished this sync like 3 or 4 days after the deadline, and there is a points penalty for it, but I mean he's outside the top 10, so there's not really much to
deduct from.
Yeah, we can't really deduct if he's outside the top 10 here, and,
I mean, we could.
Technically, if the points penalty was also enacted, BTC would have been ahead of him. But for the record, I still think that just the sync is incomplete, just incomplete. And I'd say the big thing was poor time management.
Yeah, definitely.
There's not much else that can be said other than that. And then it was a great overall like beginning. I loved how it was like synced up really well, and audio was great as well. I love the I'm not sure if that was built into the actual like game, the way that it was set up, or if he added that effect to it, but it looks really crisp and really nice. That CC.
Yeah. Commander, what I think he did with this thing, it's unfinished. It's just unfinished. It's clean. It's good. It's what is there? It's really well produced. The audio mastering is absolutely amazing. Weapon accuracy as well. But the technical complexity, composition, effects, and they're not there because it's such a short sync and it cuts off at such a just obscure time. I can understand why that is. He actually said to me at the end that there is some stuff going on inside. Which I feel for him. Yeah, it's nothing like this was outside of his power. He submitted, and I have massive respect for that. This is what you should do if you can't finish your KOS mission. You should always submit how little you have, what you have. Give it, just upload it, because you'll escape the penalties. Maybe the sync won't be rated as high, but at least you give us something to judge and to fill up the competition, because we put you into the next round, and you need to take that chance and at least do something with it, because else it will just feel like a slap into the face of people that didn't get to submit because they fell outside of the range. Yeah, and I think that's something to be respected of. I
definitely respect that from Commando there. No questions asked there, and whatever his endeavors are, I wish him the best of luck on handling that as well. And Commando, we've been great friends for a long time as well. He's an awesome guy. He's been probably one of the longest running competitors in this competition ever since season 2. So I mean, it's good to just see him in the competition, and in general, and he did meet the 1 minute minimum marker there. So he did get to a minute.
He did it.
Which, so I mean, because the range is 1 minute to like 6:30, I think, and then like technically you could go longer or shorter than that range. It's just like the judges may hit you if it's harder or shorter. Yeah, it's just like because if you effectively use 1 minute or 1:30, then you're in really good, amazing shape. It's just, I'd say just the big critique is you just didn't really use the minute very well, but you know, it's we wish Commander the best of luck in his endeavors, and we understand, you know, like we said before, sometimes things happen. You know, gun syncing should not be the biggest priority of everyone's day if they have school and college and everything and all that, and stay in school, kids. That's all I can say.
Stay in the trucks, do school. Wait,
okay, Blue. We're moving on. We're moving on. It's time to stop. Let's move on. Okay, so finishing in 15th place with a grand total of 53.72, beating out Commando by 0.3 points. We have Mr. Kelmeister, and Mr. Kelmeister, once again, under the solid sinking category, as in his sync was extremely solid, really cool cinematics in the beginning. This definitely got my attention right from the beginning. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the same song that Jarrell used in round number 1 and finished 3rd place for his just superb audio and how Battlefield seemed to mix really well. And I've just noticed that Battlefield mixes well in general, but Mr. Kelmeister uses, I believe that's Modern Warfare 3 and a mix and a plethora of other Call of Duty games, and Battlefield is also in it as well, as I noticed. But Kelmeister, pretty solid sync, really good stuff, and it was, unfortunately I do have to say, like, with Jarrell's finishing 3rd place, Jarrell was up there, and I think Mr. Kelmeister wanted to take that same approach as Jarrell did, where he wanted just like a solid audio sync to really boost up his score. But I think it's just, the difference was like certain games, like the audio sounded really good, but it didn't sound like outstanding, like Jarrell's sync. Where really like the Battlefield sounds really like set the tone for a song like that, and it really like mixed in well, and it hit it off well. Where the other games, it was definitely good that he had the other games, and from a variety standpoint, it's great, and I love that. And that would be the only critique I would have with Jarrell's sync in round 1 was his variety. But the variety in this is like really good, and this is a solid, excellent sync. And although I do have to say that the round 1 submission that he had definitely had more oomph, or more of like that like pack a punch compared to this round. Where this round, it's still good sync, solid, but just didn't have that like extra oomph that can boost it up even more, if you know what I mean. Good overall weapons choice, and really nice CC usage. His CC is really nice. I love his CC composition, which definitely adds to that. And in the end there, it looks like I'm not sure what game that is in the end, but it was definitely cool that he added to that as well. I'm not sure if it's like Payday or actually no. Yeah, it's like 258 around there. I'm not sure what that game is, but if anyone can spot what that game is, just feel free to let me know. But that's my critique.
If someone can find out what that game is, they'll get a digital cookie from me.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll just use a cookie emoji on Discord. This sync starts off really strong. Audio's good. You know, good build up. When you get into the Modern Warfare 3 section was good. The cinematics were good. Black Ops 3 part was good. Big ups. Then we go into the Advanced Warfare part, which is also pretty good, yeah. But then we're going to the Battlefield 4 part and the drop, and it just goes. How do I say this? When you have like the synths of the drop, right? Then it goes like duh, 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 and he doesn't sing like the duh, duh, duh. Like he only likes at the end of like that kind of like melody thing. he only uses like he only sings like the hats and the snare, right? The thing with the sync is that the choice of weapons and the sustenance of certain notes just didn't feel. They just didn't feel adequate to the sounds that they were trying to sing. The sounds he used didn't really feel like they fit, you know. Another thing is that there's a lot of unnecessary pack mixing, which I myself don't really have a problem with it, but I know some judges really don't like that because it just shows that you do not know, that you do not have the knowledge of all the game, of like a certain game, to know which sound of that game really fits the best, you know. And it just means that you're just borrowing those from other games. In short, this sync was good, but it just wasn't anything special because, yeah.
And also, not to mention, I did like the second song that he chose was really cool. So if we maybe seen more of that in the sync, even if it was like an extra like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was a really cool like song that he used, and like he synced that really well compared to like I felt like just the first half is kind of average and it like picked up later, which is if the consistency was a little bit more balanced for that first song, or whether it was the song choice or whether it was the way that he synced that first song. Yeah. If it was a little bit more balanced, a little bit, didn't have to be exactly balanced.
Yeah, the second half of the sync was definitely better than the first.
Yeah, I agree. So, but very good, valiant effort from Mr. Kelmeister, as always. He's been a contender for the last 3-4 years for sure, and he's definitely shown why. This thing shows why he's a contender and why he's in the conversation for sure to win this competition every year. And he's amazing. He's a great, talented singer. So hats off to Mr. Kelmeister. As we now move on to 14th place with a grand total of 5460, we have Hoi Hyung, who did the Light 'Em Up, the Nick Thayer remix, which was, I have to say, this sync was pretty solid and really cool. Some really cool, distinctive effects were used in this one, including a new one that I definitely have not seen before. And we'll get to that in a minute. But it starts out really fast and exciting and like really good, solid use of the that single shot weapon there. It looked like it was silent too. And the sprays were definitely something I really liked in this sync, how it was used. It really like packed the punch. It was like bam, bam, bam. Like it really like packed that punch. Like it was like, whoa, like that's badass. And that's cool. And we've seen this guy in round 1 do a very solid submission. And once again, pretty much picking up where he left off, like where the song in this one was definitely a step down in terms of his choice, but he still made it count. And it just shows throughout the sync that he's just consistent, solid and consistent. And there's not really much I could say about this sync other than it was just another strong submission that just got beat by a stronger submission. Yeah. That's all I can really say. Like this guy did what he had to do. He did an awesome job. Like this sync is great, and I love the drop where his spray usage is good and good transition usage, and also jumping ahead to some of the effects that he used towards the end, where
pyramid.
The pyramid, yeah, that was cool. That was actually kind of nice. So maybe if he expanded on that more.
Jaden's triangle.
Jaden's triangle.
Yeah, boy.
It's the Jaden Illuminati triangle.
Yeah. Jaden is now part of the Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah, but I just thought that this like video had some really cool effects, where maybe the effects that pop up at the 243 marker could maybe be moved over a little bit earlier, introduce that in the beginning, and then spread out the effects, where I feel like the effects were crammed into the end. That was the only thing I would really say, but to me, that wouldn't really hurt that wouldn't really hurt my scores if I were to give them scores on that. But just another solid sync. Really nice job. You have nothing to be disappointed on with this sync for sure. You did an awesome job, man.
Yeah, this sync was good. Good. It was good. I didn't really like the song choice because it has been synced to fucking death. Everyone in their fucking world has synced this song.
Yeah, I did notice that too, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, there was a lot of unnecessary pack mixing when you go like to the drop and you have like those screeches, like that part. That was unnecessary. Then he switches to like a different Black Ops 3 pack, right? Which is totally unnecessary because he is using a Black Ops 3 pack which has almost all guns in it. I think that really just doesn't add anything. It just distracts. Some sounds were louder than others. This sync, it just suffers from tiny bits in all aspects, which really hold it back. Having those really cool effects at the last drop, right? Having those seep in all the way at the end, just feels like there's so much missed potential in the first parts of the sync, you know? Like, I know that having the sync get better as it progresses is very good, and it's a sign of strong, you know? Strong sync. Strong sync! But, you know, it's never bad to go back to the beginning of your sync and adjust some stuff to make it a bit more interesting. Because at the end, my attention was almost already gone, and then you come in with these really cool effects, and I'm like, I wish you would have
spread them out better.
Yeah, I wish you had spread them out a bit more, because at that point I just wasn't in the mood for it anymore.
Yeah, it was definitely cool that like the effects, the idea that he had is great. Like you see those, but the two effects are kind of crammed together. If he uses the first effect he used, like where it was like a big expansive like multi-perspective screen there, and then use the pyramid when the second drop comes.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Like to add, you know, spatial dimension into the sync. And I probably botched that, and it's probably not what it's actually, not the wording that I wanted to say, but you get the point where you separate those two effects out instead of putting them both together at the end, where it will add more balance to the sync in general. But other than that, I still thought it was a pretty solid intro. It's good stuff, and this guy's got a lot of talent for sure, and he definitely impressed me in round one for sure, and he impressed me yet again. Considering this song has been synced so many times, he has made the most of this. And I think you and I can both agree with that in regards to the syncing and the beats. It's just he needs to adjust where certain effects go, maybe, and also audio balance.
Yeah.
And with that, now we can move on to 13th place with a grand total of 55.49. And once again, we're still in the 50s. Still in the 50s, and we're going to be here for a bit.
This sync, before we start actually saying who it is, this sync had the opposite of issues that most of the syncs that we have already discussed had. This sync had more problems in the overall composition and mastering than in the effects, because the effects were absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that if this guy, for the record, as we name him, we'll get to that in a minute, but we have Stan QAQ finishing off in 13th place with 55.49. And I have to say that you could see why this guy made it as far as he did, and like his effects and everything that he used was just phenomenal. Like everything popped and it was just badass. And I think he had his computer had a lot of trouble rendering all these effects and stuff, and thus is probably the reason why his audio got kind of shit on for this one, because maybe the audio didn't render out correctly on YouTube or wherever it ended up. And that's like I said, like we said in the beginning, the big critique with this one is audio. Like you can have all these effects all day long, but then when your audio is not properly mastered, or when your audio is distorted, or if it doesn't sound correct, or if it's just not balanced correctly, because we feel like we've seen this with like Shadow Gamer in the past.
Yeah.
The audio balancing was a big issue for him, and then he fixed his audio balancing, and he started to get a lot further in competitions and keep that same effect space that he was on, and he was phenomenal, Shadow Gamer. And I feel like Stan falls into that same realm where audio was really the biggest downfall. And back in the day, a lot of syncers have had these problems with audio, and we've seen as time goes on, syncers have been getting a lot better at audio balancing, recognizing what to master in the audio. But overall, amazing, awesome visuals, like some of the most amazing visuals I've seen in a sync. That reminds me so much of Nugan Nom in Season 3 and ZOV Black as well, and a lot of those other syncers from that region, where that style of lots of effects pouring out. But like me and Blue have been saying, audio is a big part of a gun sync, and if you can't master the audio correctly, then what's the point of mastering the effects at times, But I do have to say, still an amazing sync, and it's incredible how he was able to render all of that, considering he had rendering problems. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
this sync, yeah, this is a really good sync, but the audio isn't. I really wanted to score this higher, but I couldn't. The audio just holds it back too much. You get for me, you get a 9 on technical complexity and composition, an 8 on effects and theme, no accuracy and gun choice.
yeah, it's
mixing and mastering. No.
Yeah, no, it just hits you, like, after, like, as a judge in particular, it definitely hits you. You're like, oh my god, this sync was awesome visually and badass, and then just the audio holds it back, and you just like.
Oh, there's so much potential, but.
Oh yeah. And this guy came out of nowhere, like, just similar to Nugan Nom, or not Nugan Nom, Nguyen Nom. Believe it or not, there's another Nugan Nom in this competition, but Nguyen Nom in Season 3, where he came out of the gate, guns blazing, and he was phenomenal. And he won his group, he won his division. He was the winner, or he was second place, he was up there. And Stan did the same thing, and it reminded me of the same way, and this was definitely a step up. Like, I definitely applaud Stan for trying something different and stepping up from that first round. And that's definitely what put him even higher on the leaderboard, for sure. That the judges recognize that he's tried something outside of his comfort zone. Definitely out of his computer's comfort zone, for sure, and that's definitely proven exactly why. Okay. But yeah, just the big critique of both of us is audio. Make sure it's balanced correctly, and I think if he balanced his audio correctly and mastered it correctly, he would have been in that top 10, no problem. I would not have doubted it for a second.
He would have been like, this guy, if his audio is better, I'm willing to bet he would have gotten into the top 3.
Really?
Yeah. This guy really needs to work with his audio. His effects and everything is good, but his audio is just, I'm sorry man, but your audio is, it's just not good. You really need to work on it, because if a certain part on your sync is so well defined and so good and so well put together, and another part just holds it back to this degree that you don't make it, when in reality you're one of the best when it comes to visuals. It just hurts to see and to listen to in this case, because there's just so much potential. Potential.
Well, as we say our goodbyes to Stan, at least for round number 2, we definitely hope to see this guy again. And I'm amazed at what this guy can do. He's got so much potential. And I remember I first seen this guy when he 1v1 Shadow Gamer, and it was for the Sicko song, like a song that, like, it's like the Post Malone song we were talking about earlier, that it doesn't have like a lot of potential, but that remix that it had, it was so badass and awesome. And Stan synced it to like really cool perfection, and the beats, the hip hop beats, that he synced up. It was just like, wow, like this is amazing. Like this guy could do that with a hip hop song, and he was able to make a submission like this. Like that was really great, amazing effort from this guy. We can't take no by no means we cannot take that away from this guy. And I want to see Stan compete again. And I know that if he could just take the next about a little bit of time to work on his audio, and once he masters that audio, he could be a champion. He could very well be a champion.
Yep.
No, I fully believe it.
This guy, if his audio gets on par with like people like Commando Dub, people like Tubbsy,
And Jarrell.
If Stan can get his audio game up to that level, I can see a King of Sinks in him.
Yeah, I can see it too. And with that, now I think we should move on to 12th place. As we close into that top 10, we are getting much closer, and it's going to get just that much more heartbreaking, I should say. So, finishing in 12th place with 55.77 points and missing the 10th place cutoff line by 2 points. Less than 2 points, actually, technically. We have GMLX, who's going to get hit with the heartbreaking finish yet again, although in round 1 he finished 25th and then was able to replace the NGS. This is one of the replacements that we had come in, just like the others that we've mentioned earlier. But GMLX's sync for the 1 minute 43 seconds that he had, it was pretty phenomenal. And considering that the song limited him very minor limits, it wasn't like it limited him completely, where there was definitely some opportunities in the song that he used very well. And I have to figure out what this song is, because this song was kind of cool. It was kind of catchy, and it sounded really cool. But for the simplicity that the sync had, it's one of those simple and super effective syncs that we have here. And we've seen that all so much in this competition, where a lot of people go with the simple yet effective approach. Cool effects that get added in at very good timings, CC changes, and then when it transitions over to Overwatch, some like signal flares, some dazzle effects. I thought it was just really cool. I mean, hats off to this guy for coming in. He was 25th going into this round, and then he came in to replace, and he was inside the top 24. He replaced the NGS, and then to come in and finish this high off the leaderboard, definitely unexpected for me, for sure, that he was able to pass a lot of these other guys that outclassed him in that first round. It definitely shows that GMLX is focusing on his consistent game, and he's consistently been a good sinker. So good stuff from Mr. LX there. Awesome job.
Yeah, this sync, I gave it a high score because it's such a vibe. Escape.
Yes.
I'll actually send you the song right now because I know what it is.
I did? Oh, thank you. Yes, send it to me.
It's a Virtual Riot song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a Virtual Riot song. It's in my head. Haha, it's in my head. Haha. This song, the sync is very. It's so vibey. There's a clear theme going on in this sync. Which for me,
the song is like funky too. I love the funkiness of the song too. It's cool. It's fun. You know, and that's something that I'm definitely big with a sync like this. The reason that this sync really scored high was just the song choice and how he was able to take that song choice that he got and make it count. That's definitely why he's a lot higher on the leaderboard.
Oh yeah.
Like he really made the potential. He really showed the potential of this song. And obviously, is there more that he could have added in? Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. And I think that's probably the thing that could have given him those 2-3 extra points instead of a jarring transition, but... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
You go first, or is it my turn?
No, well, it is your turn, but you say what you have to say, man.
Okay, the gun choice, the accuracy is good. Mixing and mastering is good. technical complexity and composition. Could have been a bit higher, but it's also good. Effects and theme. Oh, this theme that he had going. It's just
spicy.
Spicy, yeah. It's just so good. Got a personal from me. Personal subjective score of 9.2. Yeah, I scored this really high. My feedback on this was, I love this so much. Such a simple sync, yet so much emotion. Yes. Feedback is some parts of the drop just need some. At a certain point, I saw you use the SVG strike rifle when the snare came, but under the snare there was an underlining growl, just like, yeah, just a synth, you know. Just, there was something underlining to which you didn't sync, which a lot of people do, but it's just what holds this sync back to a degree. Certain parts of the song which are not synced, and you're just going for like the standard. Okay, how do I say this? In the beginning, you use the ICR-1 assault rifle for the percussion loop, and you just use the same rhythm, the same gun over and over again. Even though there's like a plucky piano type thing on top of that, which you could have synced, which you didn't do. That, I think that's what really cost you your points. That you didn't really use what the song offered. Yeah, that's basically it.
But yeah, just to wrap up on GM's submission, just solid submission and good stuff. This is another guy that I definitely want to see more out of, and he definitely has potential for sure to be a contender, be up with all these other contenders here, and he's definitely earned his spot. He definitely earned getting to this round for sure. And I wish him best of luck on his endeavors. And who knows? He may have to come in and replace one of the top 10, and he may get him. He may swivel his way into this finale. Like, you never know.
So.
Like, yeah, like because we've seen people drop out, and at least more than one. So he's in a position where he can replace somebody. So GMLX, make sure to, you know, just keep a heads up. You might be in. So who knows? So, but obviously missing the cutoff once again is disappointing. Having it happen a second time, officially, I should say. But good stuff. So now we're gonna move on to 11th place, the one spot off, and unfortunately we always have to have someone in this position. And I was. The point difference before I even say anything. 10th place had 57.23. 11th place had 57.09. Less than a 0.2 cutoff. Just ridiculous here. We have Flying Cucumber finishing in the 11th position.
Our number one.
Who is the number one seed going into this round, is right now officially eliminated. But, of course, like we said with Mr. GMLX, he may come in to replace somebody. So, not all hope is lost for Flying Cucumber just yet. But, definitely, officially missing the cutoff without replacement is definitely something that just hits hard for sure. Especially for how good he did in round number 1. And for the record, he didn't really necessarily do anything wrong in round 2 that made it a little bit lower. It was just because this sync was solid. It was still really good.
Oh, it was really good.
And I really love the split effect that he used, and really good solid audio. And I love the usage of the Overwatch. I forget who's the character with the angel wings. I'm sorry if I don't know this. I'm completely out of the loop with Overwatch. But there were some Overwatch characters that he used very well. Ricardo, once again, making an appearance in a gun sync. Ricardo's been quite popular this year, I have to say.
I mean, can you really blame Ricardo with a body like that?
Yeah, no. Ricardo's got nothing to do with the bad part of this thing. I'm just thinking he's quite popular this year. Shadow Gamer definitely showcasing the popularity of Ricardo this year.
Yeah, like
no.
I mean,
no questions
like,
asked there.
can you really blame them that Ricardo is that popular? Of course he's popular. This is what peak male perfection looks like. You may not like him, but this is what it looks like.
But yeah, just once again, really solid sync, really cool effects that were used, and really interesting things that he synced up as well. And that's what I like about Flying Cucumbers. He syncs up not just ordinary weapons being shot and stuff. He, like in round 1, he used like a ruler and all of that, and he's using third-person characters in this one, and adding in like he added a PNG of like a mome at some point, which was kind of cool. I would say it was a little bit jarring, that effect in particular, but it was still nice. And then in the end, it looked like he although the only thing I feel like I'm not sure if he intended to add this in the end, we just witnessed a guy destroying a TV and him throwing it out the window, or no, he threw it in the pool.
Yeah, that's fucking Lil Pump.
No, of course it was Lil Pump.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it was just kind of a jarring transition. That might have like, in terms of jarring, I don't mean like it ended so suddenly. It was more like it was just odd, I should say. But I don't think it added to what happened, because like it was kind of cool. Like he had the gun sync on the TV, and then you just see Lil Pump destroying it and throwing it in the water, which is kind of funny in its own right, for sure. But like I said, I just don't have much else to say other than just it was a solid, awesome sync, and it's just you got outclassed, I suppose.
Yeah. I feel like this scene should have been slightly higher up. There is just the topography, just where everything is placed, is really good. In my opinion. The sync, the only thing that I have comment on is that in the remote part with like Junkrat and stuff, in the slow motion part, right, you could have used some Twixtor instead of just slowing it down and letting it restore, you know. I think that's a shame that you didn't, you know, use that. The rest of the sync is just phenomenal. I gave this a very high score. I don't know why it's out here.
And like we've been talking about again, where pretty much all these syncs that we've had were solid and were absolutely amazing in their own right, even all the way down to 17th. Like I'd go as far and say someone who was in 17th could have easily finished in the top 10 with even like one simple change or just stuff like that. And I just think that it's just this competition's so close, and Flying Cucumber did an awesome submission. In fact, I'd go ahead and say that his first round submission was better, which is maybe why his score got lowered a tad bit. But it was still a great submission. His round 2 submission was still great.
Yeah,
still awesome. And we can, and like I said, we cannot take that away from these guys that are really working their asses off. It's just you just get unlucky sometimes. Points get stacked against you, and it just happens, and that's all that really can be said. But now we move on to the top 10. The top 10 sinkers that will be officially moving on to the Kings of Sinks Season 5 finale. And if one of these guys drops 11th place, and 11th place could get in, or 12th place could potentially get in. So keep that in mind for Flying Cucumber and GMLX. And I would even go as far as even Stan still has a chance to get into the finale, seeing how many drop-offs we've had in the past. But finishing in 10th place with a grand total of 57.23 points, and being the first sinker to make it into the Kings of Sinks Season 5 finale, we have the Scottish Vietnamese sinker Nguyen Nam. And I'm so excited for this guy that he made it. And also forgot to mention, or I should mention, it's definitely appropriate to mention, we have a meme song in the beginning of this.
Oh my, yeah.
the Creeper song. So I do like how the Black Hat's used in the beginning, which it definitely like stands out compared to most submissions in regards to Black Hat usage, because it's very rare that you see the Black Hat being used first in the sync as the very first weapon. So it was definitely really nice that he added that in. And oh my god, I just keep, when I'm listening to the song and doing the critique, it's just it's you can't help but just like cringe and laugh and be like, oh my god, it's so cool that he was able to sync this at the same time. Like it was a good meme sync in the beginning there. And I mean, like, where the weapons fit in really well, the minigun usage was great, the sprays were nice, the reload of the Tempest, and I love when people use those small reload sounds and try to find different gaps and different sounds that make it sound cool. Because that's what I used to like doing in my syncs in particular. And Nuke Nom did a great job with that. Yeah. And then when we transition into the second song, this is when shit gets real.
Yeah.
Really cool cinematics, and then the build up, and then the drop.
It drops into Aeroport and there as hell Titans.
Titans, yes.
Yes.
That's like the big thing to say with this, because I just haven't seen Titans being synced in so long, especially for a competition submission. You know when the last time we've actually seen Titans being synced? It was Selflex.
Yeah, and
actually,
last year, Johnny Watt seen the outro of Titans, but that wasn't going to drop, so.
Yeah, but yeah, that is true. I forgot about that. But the last time, actually not in competition, but the last time I've seen like an amazing Titan sync was Selflex, and Nuke Nom brought us back to the classic age of when there was so many Aerocord songs to choose from, and he just synced it so well. It was just so amazing. I loved it. Like that part was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he transitions into another song, and it was I believe it was Battlefield he used.
Battlefield 4. Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's Battlefield 4. That's that pack everyone uses.
Oh yeah, the Oasis pack, if I remember correctly. And
yeah, I think so.
And I'm not sure what that is, like the bum 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 bum. I'm not sure what that weapon is, like on the top, but it really like added to like the synthy part of the sync. Or not synthy. Why the hell did I just say synthy? But the Battlefield 4 part in particular was one of my favorite parts of this sync. It was just so phenomenal. It was so good, and this guy definitely stepped up in round 1 for sure. And although his round 1 submission was great, he touched up on that consistency that we were talking about, where making the first half and the second half blend better, and for the sync to get better and better as time goes on. Like, he did even better with that this round, and it was just awesome. Like, just an amazing submission all around. Great stuff, and he definitely deserves this spot for sure. Congratulations.
Yeah, this guy, what I see with this sync, you can see is actually this person is non-binary. That was a thing, and Nuke actually disclosed in around June when it was like Pride Month. Yeah. They made a good sync. Like this sync. It's just such a vibe. Like it starts off and fucking hits you all the way back to like when Minecraft parodies were popular, you know. It's just, yeah, it just
the Minecraft parodies.
It just flings you back. It's
definitely
just
a good throwback.
It's a really good throwback, and he like sings the song in such a way like it's just. He sings it like anyone would sing any other song, but the fact that it's this song and like that he made it work with this style, this specific style, you know, it's just it's just so cool to see. And when he transitions to like the Advanced Warfare part, like at first you don't know what song it is, because like in the beginning you hear like the percussion that like Titans also has in the beginning. Then it goes to like a trappy beat, you know, like more, you know, functional hi-hats and stuff. And you're like, wait, this is not Titans. And like, then it goes into the build-up of the shit. You like hear all these kinds of samples from different songs, you know. and it goes into the drop, and then you hear, oh shit, this is actually Titans, and it's like, it just hits you with surprise. I think the thing that I really liked about this sync in particular is the element of surprise. Just seeing songs that you wouldn't expect in certain places.
Yeah, especially in the beginning where you think it's gonna be more casual, then like it builds up, gets more exciting, and it gets even more exciting from there. It's just like it's telling a story of like it's just so it's awesome.
Yeah.
And big props to Nugen Nam, and like he's definitely leaving. If this guy is a brand off of Nguyen Nam, that guy Nguyen Nam in season 3, like this guy is definitely taking where he left off, starting where he left off for sure. No questions asked.
Yeah, definitely a different person, but like,
oh yeah,
there is the thing they do have in common is that they're both really talented.
Oh yeah, no questions asked. So with that, we move on to 9th place with a grand total of 59.52 points. We have XXSZJ233, and that name just gets even more weird to say each and every time in one go, but I'll just call him Triple X. That's the best way to name him, I suppose. But without spending too much more time on his name, we now jump into the actual physical sync itself. Starts off with some really cool cinematics. It takes about a couple seconds to get the sync going, but you know, that's okay. It's fine. And then we see some really cool cinematic shots of I believe it's Black Ops. I'm not sure which Black Ops that is, but it was just really cool to see these cinematics, which add the general theme of it in the beginning, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then we see Battlefield being synced here, which is really cool. And then he goes into the drop, and I'm just like, wow, like the use of the Twixter, it was just that was really cool. Like his use of Twixter was just absolutely phenomenal, and his audio, the audio that he managed to master really awesomely in this sync just fit in so well with this song, and he really brought out the potential in this song with this sync. And then he added in some really cool effects in the mid and late stages of this sync. And then he decided to change the map, and I just thought it was a really solid all-around sync, and just really good solid choice for Battlefield for this song.
Oh, definitely. This sync in particular, this is what we want. This is like what we want to see from like a KOS round 2 submission, you know. It has cool cinematics. It's a song being executed to the point. It's clean. It's good. It has changing CCs. It's one game, like that not even, but like it's the fact that you just like stick to one theme and like have it consistent all the way through. Just this sync is the package we want. This is what we want. This is just clean, well produced goodness. Blech.
And I just have to say also, keep in mind, we're getting like these guys from that were finishing 20th or 24th, around that like range, and then those that came in to replace are really stepping up. Like this guy was, I don't want to say he was not in the conversation to move on to the finale, but I definitely would not have predicted this guy moving on to the finale, considering the competition that he was up against. But this guy stepped up, and his sync was phenomenal and just absolutely awesome. And he definitely earned it. He definitely earned his keep. That's no questions asked there. And
definitely.
It was just so solid. Like, it was just amazing. I don't know what else to say. I'm running out of words to say for this sync, but it was just all around really good. Nice audio, well Definitely the big thing that stands out for this one is his weapons choices, especially in the first half for
and the
sure.
flow.
But the second half, yeah, the second half it kind of fell off a tiny bit, but it was still really good and consistent. But just absolutely awesome. Good stuff.
Did you like see when he goes like into the drop? You know, like he like starts with a reload, and he smacks the top of the gun, and he goes into like the sprays and stuff. That's just so cool. That's just like really going with the flow of what you want, and that's just
And now we move on to 8th place with a grand total of 60.05 points. And once again, another guy that just barely made it into round 2 is now finding himself in the finale. And who are we talking about? Of course, we're talking about Venice. Venice's sync, man, just wow. This guy blew me away. I'm surprised how well this guy was able to blow me away with the sync that he did. And considering in the beginning, I didn't really expect much from this song. Like in the beginning, where this is definitely one of those like build-up type songs where you don't expect what is going to be coming next, and it was just crazy. And I love how the Overwatch sound seemed to fit really well. Like where the sword, I believe it's Genji's sword, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure whose sword that is, but like I said, I'm not really an Overwatch guy. You guys can. That's Genji. Okay, that's right.
That's Genji.
Okay, so I got that one right. That's good. But yeah, the Genji sword sounds fit in really well with this, and just when the drop comes, it was just really smooth. And then Bastion sounds are really awesome. I just feel like the sounds he used for Overwatch in this particular case, in the beginning, it fit really well. I was really impressed at how well it fit in. And then when we go to the second half of the sync, which is really when it begins to stand out, you get a really cool clock effect, which I'm like, ooh, this is kind of cool. Like we're getting into the next part of the sync, and then transitions to the stars, and really cool usage of the machine exploding, which was really cool. And then at the 137 marker, it really hits you. He does an incredible effect that I've never seen before. That obviously you're implementing the Jaden Spear, yes, but he implements it in such a different way that I've never seen before. As I like to call it, the Saturn effect. You see the planet with the rings, and it's just going off.
Jaden Saturn.
The Jaden Saturn. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
But that effect was just like, holy shit, that's incredible. Like, that is incredible. And with the background contrasting it with it really well, and just, it was like a perfect pack-a-punch effect to add into like the end of a movie, like the epic end battle, you know, like Endgame, how the battle was so epic in the end. It was just like that.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely incredible.
You know something's coming, but you don't know what. That's what it felt like when it went to like the clock in the universe fight thing.
Yeah, it was just, you know, that was just incredible. Like this sync, Venice, man, you blew me away, my dude. Like, and I really wish you the best of luck in this finale as well, because you definitely earned it with the, and that's what I'm talking about, like trying different effects. And obviously it's not good to always knock off other people, but to add something to the effect and not just make it the same old spears that we've been seeing. Like, we've been seeing a lot more of different experimentations with effects, the triangle pyramid effects, this Saturn effect, and all these other effects like that are starting to come into the scene. That's adding more to it, which is really cool. And that was awesome. And if he added that like in space, like if there was like space around him, that would have been even cooler. But at the same time, the background he used was nice, but just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I think that was nice theme, bro. I also heard you like distortion. Some of the sync and then did have a lot of distortion at like the drop.
Yeah.
until it made it prevented it from going a bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
And then also wasn't really really a CC to go along with it. That's like the only complaints I have about it. The like the cycling through like the screens, just the weird movements it makes. It just flows well. This sync has the originality, but needs to do a little bit more on the basics. That's just kind of like just sharpen it. Just needs some sharpening, and it's top tier material.
Yeah, this is a sync that could win competition, something like this, and just like it wasn't even just the effect that added it, as the effect was incredible as of itself, but the build up to it, where the song, like, it's just the song choice is perfect. I love the song choice. That was definitely the big selling point for me on this one. Okay. Was song choice was so incredible, and that was amazing. So with that, we're gonna move on to the top 7. 7th place. 60.73 points for Mr. Half Beast, and I am so excited to be saying that name, and because this guy definitely earned getting into the finale. And let's keep this in mind before we get into the actual sync itself. Half Beast came in to replace Tovernyak, who Tovernyak was he had like equipment issues and stuff. 2 days after the 2-week cutoff deadline, which means Half Beast had 2 days less than everybody else, and then we gave him the extension, but we gave him the 2 or 3 day extension to catch up, but he still finished on the first deadline.
Yeah.
So on, I believe it was August 31st. Yeah, it was August 31st. He still finished on the full deadline, which means he said, nah, I don't need those 2 extra days. I got this, B. And
yeah.
But looking at Half Beast's submission, it was really cool, like graphical effect in the beginning. Kind of reminds me of Tobzi's round 2 finale and all that. And he decided to do Panda Eyes, which is definitely new. And it was just really cool to see a sync like this, and really cool like mountains on the side to add to the scenery. And then the weapons were, like I said, it was just like Tobzi's sync from the finale, and it was a really nice throwback piece. And I love that. The sounds mixed really well. He changed the colors, to yellow here and there, which was really cool. Nice cinematic shots and really cool song choice too. And I'm so happy that Half Beast was able to make it to this finale as well, because this guy is the definition of probably the best syncer under pressure. Where I'm saying, like, despite having a crunch timeline, he was able to produce something like this, and that speaks volume. That to me is just a lot to say, a lot coming out, to say, and it's incredible, and that's awesome. And he's definitely earned his keep getting into this finale. And this time he doesn't have to replace nobody. He gets to have the full time just like everybody else. And I'm excited to see with what he has with the full time to make a sync, what he's going to produce for the finale. I'm super excited.
This man, I've been talking to him lately. We've kind of just been talking and stuff. Well, he's a really nice bloke. Yeah, that's all I want to say. First of all, reading his description on this video. This is how I made this in a week. 7 days. Day 1, cry. Day 2, I found the song. Day 3, I got 1,000,000 points with Azir, so I found Shurima. Day 4, weaponize your Emperor. Day 5, Nasus keeps talking about life philosophy, that makes me feel sick. Day 6, I like sword, so I found Genji was playing with his sword. I also found Mercy was healing me and keep me away from Nasus' life philosophy. Day 7, render. Actually, I spent a lot of time to render this piece of shit. Got so many bugs that needed more than 20 times rendering. No, it's just a meme, but Yeah, this sink is. It's. I really like the theme yet going. The thing with sinks this year is really that people are trying to get a theme, get like their own, give their
Like a
own
story, a theme that really,
Yeah.
really drives the sync. And with some of the submissions we're going to see later, we're definitely going to see a lot more of that as well. And that's an half piece to once again adding to that theme. And that's what really is starting to drive up scores too, when there's a story behind it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep. This is what we like to see from like a sync, having it like build. Not only having a sync build into a drop, but building into a story. That's what we like to see in syncs. It's not only going hard; it's also making it feel like there has been put emotion into making it. If you take a concept as abstracted as gun syncing and actually pour emotion into it and actually like give your own unique creative spin to it, and that really feels that makes something as simple as gun syncing feel so special. And I think these are the kinds of syncs that make me realize why this community likes gun syncing so much, because this is just what we stand for and what we like to make. We build our own we built kind of our own atmosphere and our own type of editing and syncing, and I think that is something which this sync really brings to the front and why it scored so high.
Yeah, and it was definitely like you definitely get the old feel and the new feel from it, where you get the this is like Tobbsy's sync in season 2, and then you get kind of like that added story feel to it, where and like extra cinematics and extra things that are added to it, which make it new and innovative, which is just awesome. And I'm pretty sure our judge Tobbsy there definitely scored this sync high as well, so that probably he's like, ooh, this is nice. So with that, now we move on to 6th place. And by the way, the difference between positions 6 and 7 were by less than 7/1000ths of a point.
This thumbnail.
Or 7/700ths
Yeah.
of a point. Sorry, excuse me. It's goes tenths than hundredths, but yeah, 7/100ths of a point, which is crazy. So, finishing in 6th place with a total of 60.8 points, we have High Hum, and
With the best
I'm so
thumbnail
excited
ever.
that High Hum is in the finale once again. Although last year he did not submit in the finale, so I'm hoping this year he gets to submit, which would be really awesome. And High Hum's definitely got a shot to win this competition for sure. He's such an innovative and awesome gun sinker, and was the Vietnamese rookie of the year last year, and this year he just shown why he deserves to be in this finale again, and he's just incredible. And his sinking, and he decided to do CSGO in the beginning, which was cool, and then he decided to do a really cool effect at I believe it was the 35-second marker, which was really nice. Once again, kind of going back to Tobbsy's thing. It's not quite that same thing. Like it's somewhat there. It's a little bit more basic version of it, but it's definitely a nice touch to it. And then he jumps into some awesome kick-ass sprays in Modern Warfare 3, and High Hum definitely has one of the best spray controls in this competition. When I say spray control, I mean spray control, where the sprays work really well with the guns and how fast the sprays come out. Like, it reminds me so much of like Lewis Tech Games in season 2, Nguyen Nam in season 3, and I just love those fast sprays that are like consistent. And High Hum is definitely one of the best in the game when it comes to sprays, and it's just he was incredible in this sync in particular. And then, although I will say I was a little bit confused of what that was in I believe it was the 201 marker. Not sure whose smile that was.
Yeah, that was.
I'm not sure what that was. I was a little confused. It definitely threw me off guard. I mean, not really much points to be taken off for that, or I mean, I don't really take off points for that, but just threw me off a little bit. But it was just incredible. And then going to the end there, and then he synced up the ending with a couple of of still pictures there, which was
Yeah,
funny, spicy ending. That's all I can really say there. But just absolutely incredible sync from High Hum. And once again, I'm just excited to see him in the finale and see what he can do.
Oh, definitely. just the okay. So first of all, my feedback: 420 out of 69 would dick again. This sync was just, it's just such a good sync, but it's also such a memey sync.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. Like,
a good solid meme sync for sure.
this is a good solid meme sync. Like, it starts off being like really good when like it just starts off slowly with CS:GO. He reloads the pistol, then he starts shooting it, and you're like, this is kind of boring. What is he trying to get at? And then he fucking and he goes into a transition to like kind of the Tubbsy effect as you described, and, it starts getting better, and it gets better and better and better, and it picks up so quickly from no effects to insane effects. And he goes into the drop, which is like, and the drop is just really well synced, really good audio mastering, everything is just well balanced, really good. Then we go into the breakdown, we get the smile thing, which is funny. This is where the memes start seeping through. And then he does like the thing with the BRM and the KM44. Then he goes into another drop, and then after that he goes into like meme images and shit, which is for me the best part of the sync because it's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's funny how he actually synced it too, which is kind of funny how he swapped the pictures in the sync, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really give me bonus points for me, but it's just a nice touch to add to the ending. But awesome job from High Hum once again. And now we're in the top 5, and I have to say these top 5 syncs were amazing and awesome. And not to take away from the rest of the competition, because the rest of the competition here had awesome, incredible syncs, but these syncs that we're about to see here are just
these are something else. These are special.
Yeah, like these definitely up there for sure. So finishing in 5th place with a grand total of 68.73 points. Really solid score. A huge jump up from 6th place. We have Cake Pew. This guy definitely surprised me as well. Like, definitely a strong showing in round number 1. And also in the beginning, he definitely starts out with some memes, and it's okay to start out with some memes, and I'm cool with that. You see Mr. Filthy Frank himself, time to stop, and then he zooms in on the video, and he's like, oh, I'm in round number 2. Now time to transition into the round 2 video. Yeah. And I do have to say his text is kind of meh, but I mean, it's a little bit unprofessional, but that's not really the big selling point of why this sync is just so incredible. Where, once again, we see these Honey Bear syncs. That same song that keeps coming up. Definitely an extremely common song that we've been seeing quite a bit in this competition and just everywhere in general.
Yeah, it's a very good song as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty good, decent song, but really cool start to it. Pretty accurate to start, and then the sprays are pretty good. Interesting way that he used the text as well, and once again, Twixter usage. This guy is pretty good with Twixter. I like his stuff. And then at the 140 marker, he transitions to definitely a different game that I've never really seen before. If anyone can name that game at the 143, 144 marker of this sync, then feel free to tell me. Or if Cake Pew is here, feel free to tell me what the name of the game is there. But then he transitions from like the slow, kind of slower moving Honey Bear song to this extremely awesome build-up badass song, and we see that new game into the mix, which is definitely nice. The sounds definitely mix really well. And then at 208, third person Black Ops 2. This I never thought I'd see. That is cool and badass. I love that. And he definitely was taking some notes from Sparkles on his submission for sure. No questions asked there. And definitely decided to add to his own little bit, add a little bit of third person perspective, which was nice. Goes into Modern Warfare 3. And then at the drop, oh my god, those sprays were just nutty. Absolutely nutty. Yeah. And I love how like the effect that he used, the masked weapon effect there, where like it brightened up so much on the screen, where like it stands out. It was just that was really cool. And then the text really goes along with it really well. And just this sync was incredible. Like the second half was just absolutely incredible. The only critique I'd say is this sync would be right up where the top 3 is if the first half had a little bit more of that, if you know what I mean. Where this could be a championship sync here if it just added more to the beginning, and that would be the only thing that I really have to say. So Blue,
the sync is very well made. First of all, a very funny intro. Then the Honeycomb Bear song. Honey Bear song, I don't know. It's pretty well synced for what the song has to offer, and it's a good part of the sync. But when you start going into like the next part of the sync, where it's like goes into the gamma the drop and then boss fight drop, and then it goes into emotional. That part of the sync is the main highlight of this. It's just the audio mastering, the composition, everything it just feels so good. It just works, and I think the sync really deserves where it stands right now. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this sync because it's just
incredible.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's just very well put together, and it's what I like to see from the sync. And this is what a round 2 sync should look like.
Amen to that. Maybe minus the minor memes in the beginning, but still just
yeah.
It'll definitely add some spice to it, but it was just incredible. Seeing what this guy did in the second half, I'm like, wow. It like surprises you because you're like thinking, oh, it's gonna be a rather simple sync to start, but then the second half comes in pretty much at the right time too.
Yeah,
and then it catches you so off guard, and you're just like, whoa.
And he also included some big room at the end for Jade.
What happened?
At the end of the sync, he also included some big room for Jade.
Oh yeah, that was definitely really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like fun service.
But that's just incredible that he's awesome job from KP. Really, really amazing job. So you definitely. I don't know what else to say. I think we should just move on before I have not much more to say. But finishing now in 4th place with a grand total of 74.07 points and making an appearance in the finale. I believe this is going to be his first finale, and considering how good this guy's been, like the fact that he's never made it to the finale until now has just been stunning to me.
Yeah.
But Husel, and I'm gonna be honest.
Husel got into the finale last time. He got into the finale last time because someone dropped. And he got into the finale.
Okay. But I'm saying like this is his first time he officially earned his way in.
Yeah.
But Husel's sync, man. Oh my god. I'll be honest, I'm surprised this was not in the top 2. I'm surprised this didn't win. Or at least in my personal opinion. This is by far my favorite sync I've ever seen in like so long. Like the song choice is incredible. The sync is like, it's like I'm playing a video game. Like it's like we're watching a video game being played. And just this sync is just incredible. The topography is amazing. The effects are just this sync is in a league of its own. Like An absolutely amazing sync, and it's funny that the weapons are like shooting like other enemies and stuff, so it's like really cool that that's added into it as well. But I jaw dropped when I saw something like this. Like this has to be one of the most creative syncs I've ever seen, ever. Like, and it's not just through the video game theme of the story. The storytelling theme definitely is really the big selling point with this. It's like he's playing a video game and it's like progressing, and he's going through like different levels and in different waves, different enemies. But yet the weapons are masked. They're absolutely just excellent weapons masking. Absolutely excellent accuracy. The audio sounds fantastic, and it's just incredible. And then the 150 marker, the minigun usage was spot on at around like the 220 marker, like somewhere around there. And then he's showing all of his past projects, and I really thought that was really nice that he added that into the mix as well to show this is how far he's really come. And then in the end, I just don't know what to say other than that was this is definitely my favorite sync. Definitely my favorite sync in this entire competition that I've seen ever. In terms of like the theming, the story, the top art, everything. It's just, and this is just round 2. What's he gonna do for the finale now? Like, I'm so excited to see what he's gonna do for the finale. Like, what's next for Yuzel? And just absolutely stunning entry. I was stunned when I saw this. Incredible.
Yeah, this sync. Whoa, dude, what the fuck have you been smoking? Because I want some of that. Like, holy shit, man. The amount of creativity that went into the sync is unbelievable. I couldn't come up with this shit. This got a 10 on effects and theme. This sync. This is just a whole nother level of syncing. This isn't just syncing anymore. This is just making a video and making a story by syncing, and that is just there's just so much going in and around the sync. I can't describe. It's just, you can just feel that it's a good sync. You can hear that it's a good sync. You can see that it's a good sync. This is what I like to see. Like, this is fucking top tier syncing. Like, I don't know how he does it, but I want to see more of this, and I want to definitely see him do even more creative stuff in the finale, because that might actually help him win the competition if he does.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think that Yuzel's creativity is just on a whole other level.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just absolutely outstanding. That this is the round, and then keep in mind, this is round 2. What's he gonna do for the finale? Like, that's the real question that I'm asking myself now. Like, if he could do this now, what's he gonna do in the finale that's really gonna do that same thing? And I'm so excited. I've never been so excited to see what somebody else is gonna do for a finale, and Yuzel's gonna have more time to add more effects and do more. But this was just nuts. Just how amazing this sync was just so awesome. And those guys that were like, I'd say like I said, I thought he should have won this round, hands down. I really thought he was gonna win this round. I mean, obviously I'm happy that he's in the finale, and it's awesome and all that. It's great, but this is just a personal subjection. There might be other things that the judges noticed that I didn't, but personally, I think this guy should have won this round. That's just my opinion, but just incredible stuff. So now we're going to move on to the top 3. Third place with a total of 78.77 points. And also, before we get into this scoring, the deadline was just when September 1st hit at midnight, right?
Yeah.
Sparkles 100 HD is the man who finished third place, and he submitted this sync with 7 minutes left on the clock. 7 minutes.
Wow.
So let that sink in for a minute. So we basically used up all this time that he could, and got it in on time, which was awesome. So now that we get into the actual sink itself, really cool. Like I'm not sure if you noticed in the beginning, really cool color gradient switches in the beginning that go according to the beat of the sound, which was really nice as it changes like key, and then. He uses advanced warfare, really nice dividing lines, really cool effects, and even that dividing line like moves sometimes, which is like really cool. Like he shifts it throughout the sync, which is definitely a really cool, awesome touch that he added in. And it was the first half of the sync was definitely really strong, and going into the middle, then it kind of like slows down a little bit. Really nice topography. I really like that. That was definitely really sexy. And Sparkles is definitely really good and getting a lot better at that topography as time goes on. And then he jumps into these wacky colors and these really cool effects. And I love how Sparkles does that. It's like really cool. And then once again, jumping into the theme of third-person syncing. He's doing CSGO third-person syncing, and he changes the perspective of the third person. So you get the front view first, then you get a side view, you get an above view. Like, that is incredible. That's awesome. Like, just like we were talking about with Husel, this is another one of those things that's on a league of their own, where I feel like this title fight, in terms of the two favorites to win this for sure, Sparkles and Husel are definitely the two favorites. And the two guys that are above them are definitely going to be good contenders to fight with them. And that definitely can very well beat Husel and Sparkles. But I just think that Husel and Sparkles, their creativity is going to serve as such a huge advantage going into
these guys. Their creativity goes hand in hand. Like they both have that. They both have that. That feeling going for them, that they both kind of do what they visualize in their head and they actually like make it into something. And I think that is really cool. Like this competition has really, like, for the better sinkers of this competition, this has really been a step into like making your own, like putting your own brand out there, like
shedding your own identity to separate yourself from everybody else. And that's why these two syncs that we just went over, Husel and Sparkles, that's why they're in this top five and in the conversation to win this competition for sure.
Oh, definitely.
These guys are the favorites right now. In terms of like the two guys, even though the two guys that finished ahead of them are definitely up there too to potentially become favorites of their own, in their own right. The creativity advantage from Sparkles and Husel is just absolutely incredible, and that's definitely going to serve as a huge advantage. But they very well may not win this competition. They very well may finish in that top five. But Sparkles and Husel, their syncs are just incredible, and Sparkles' sync here was just amazing. And for him to finish all this and then have a 7 minute, right at the 7 minute deadline, that's awesome. And that's as close as it gets. That's like Hollywood close right there for sure.
Damn, bro. Yeah, just that's big ups Sparkles. I wish you all luck in the next round. Like, I believe in you. You can do it. Just give us all you got. Oh wait, I did it again. I accidentally fucking fuck my headphones did a bad again. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay again. Yeah, give us all you got. You're in the finale now. You did your absolute best. You deserved it. Now it's your time to show us what you've got in store for the finale. It's your time to shine, bro.
Alright, so now finishing in second place. We're in the top two now.
Damn.
Yeah, and these two guys to finish where they are is just amazing. And these two guys, their syncs were just awesome too. And pretty much on par with Sparkles and Husel in terms of the technicality for sure, which is probably where the technicality comes in. But finishing in second place with a grand total of 79.34 points. just missing the 80-point marker, which is like an oof, but that's all good. But we have Bravo 6. And this guy came out of the gate swinging in round 1. And his sync was awesome round 1. And then round 2 came.
Bumped it up a notch.
And here he comes swinging for the fences once again. And hitting another home run with this sync. And I can't get over it. It's just his Rainbow Six sprays are just so good. I love how he does the sprays in Rainbow Six. It shows distinctiveness, and it's clean, and it's concise, and it's really nice. And also, Bravo 6 is definitely up there with those Twixer users as well, especially on the sprays where it looks really clean and the transitions aren't jarring and it's nice. And then he goes into the second song, transitions into it, and then the Battlefield 4 sprays, so crisp, just absolutely so crisp. I think that was the best spray, the best usage of the sprays in Battlefield I've ever seen.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I'm gonna go on a limb and say, the Battlefield sprays that he used for the second song, it fits so perfectly. I couldn't think of anything else he could have done there that could have made it even better or worse or anything. It's just,
dude, the second half, right? That's Modern Warfare Remastered. Oh no, wait, yeah,
I'm talking about the second song.
Oh, the second song.
Not the second half, the second song.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I wasn't really, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay, it's fine. But in the second song when he did Vault, just the Battlefield sprays, just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, bam, like just. Like that was just amazing. And then the effects he used, and Black Ops 3 it fit really well as well. Like that was really awesome. Really cool effects and clean and concise and just awesome. And then Modern Warfare Remastered he comes in for Modern Warfare Remastered. And then he goes for the song Sky Loud, which is the last song he uses, and then that was just really clean and really smooth and fast, and kind of reminds me of Fusel syncs in Season 3. Like, we get that kind of sneak peek from that, but overall, amazing entry from Bravo 6. Finishing in the top 5 in round 1, and now is in second place, and definitely in the conversation for sure to win this competition. Like, the top 4 that we named, Husel, Sparkles, Bravo, and then the guy who finished first, which we're going to get to in a second here. And then I even go as far as say KQ and High Hum and Half Beast, Venus, those guys. Just everybody in this finale has a great shot at winning this. Like, these guys are just incredible. Bravo 6, consistently top 5 sinking all the way around. And this guy's got a shot to win. And I think he definitely can win this.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is really like, Bravo is just up there with Jureel with like having it clean, but Bravo does it differently, makes it clean in a different way than Jureel does. Jureel masters the audio really well, as like the volume and everything is the exact right amount, right? And Bravo does it in a way that he pitch shifts the gun in such a way that it kind of like it almost feels like he's doing music theory like on his sync, which is really interesting. This is just, and his effects as well, his visual effects. This guy, how far he's gotten in like in the past year is insane. I'm just, so many sinkers have made it so far in the last year. This guy may be the most improved sinker of, well, this year, I think.
Yeah, I definitely could double down and say that I agree with that. And this is Bravo 6's first competition.
Yeah.
And he's in the conversation to win. When was the last time you've heard of someone coming out of nowhere and potentially could winning this, where with no competition background prior to besides Clash of the Sinkers? Like, and we all know how well he did in Clash of the Sinkers. He did awesome in that. Showed excellent showing in that. For him to come in here and just be part of the class of the field is just
like
amazing. Excellent audio usage, excellent everything.
He just comes in here, swoop, and he fucking, he just smacks this huge ass amazing sink on the table. He's like, "This is what I've got. Fucking do with it what you want. This is a good sink." Like, it's just so good. Like, this Bravo 6 has a lot of potential. Like, if I see like what he's done in 1 year, then like, what is he gonna be like next year if he's still sinking? You know, like,
yeah. What if he wins and potentially becomes host or judge?
Yeah.
Like, what's the standard gonna be? And that's definitely something we gotta put into question for sure.
Definitely.
And now the moment we've been waiting for.
Yeah,
We're on first place now.
We're gonna get extra dramatic for this, and I'm gonna do an epic build-up, and it's gonna be super cool. Whoa.
Mind blown. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've now been waiting for. So, finishing in first place with a shocking score of 82.29 points, and probably the upset of this round for sure in terms of the victory. Like, I expected this guy to move on to the top 10, and I thought he was gonna finish maybe top 5, maybe 4th or 3rd or 7th, you know, around there. But beating out Bravo, Sparkles, Huzel, KQ, High Hum, and all those guys, and finishing at the top of the leaderboards, we have Sturm Down.
Oh man.
And absolutely crazy sync, just absolutely awesome. And what he did, he had some really cool innovative effects that were in it, things that drove the sync and made it kick ass and awesome. And just to say, he had 6 minutes on this sync. This is one of those submissions that he made every last second of this sync count. Every last second. Every second had like something new to offer with the sync. And something that was really cool, we definitely saw like a more traditional style build up to start. And then when 30 seconds comes out, really cool transitions to each of the games. This is the type of sync, these are the syncs I like to see when there's like 40 game mashups and stuff. When it transitions like that. Smooth, classic transitions that make it nice and smooth, so it's not just cutting from game to game. And then, also not to mention World of Tanks making an appearance in this video, which was quite nice to see. And the Try Not to Headbang song, which was, I believe Xbox 360 Syncs used this song, or several other people used this song, and it's pretty popular now. And it was the Try Not to Headbang song. He made every single little beat synced up and counted. It was just awesome. Like, I don't even think I could have synced that. It would have been impossible for me to get every single beat. Even Jaden said so himself. I think whether it was this song or a different song, but just the effects are really cool, really innovative. Worms making an appearance, and I love that game, Worms. That was really cool. Just to add that to it, we saw the Jaden Spear, the Jaden Cylinder, and then a brand new effect that has been innovative with, I believe it's the assembly line effect, but there was definitely something new that was added to it, which was really cool. Which basically the assembly line would move, speed up, then slow down according to the beat of the song. So even the assembly line effect, which had different dimensions, which was cool, was synced up to the music. Like, that's incredible. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Just every minute of this sync just got me off the edge of my seat. And Sturm Down is now in the conversation to potentially win this competition. Finishing 16th in round 1, and this is the definition of what we want to see from round 1 transitioning to round 2. The step up, the big step up. This was Sturm Down's moment, and he stepped up. Probably in the best way he could have probably ever thought of.
Yeah, definitely. This man, oh my god, Jesus Christ, dude. Whoa. This is a sync that reminds me of my final submission. Very much in a way that, like, you have a mashup, you got to do song transitions, you try to make it as smooth as possible. everything works together. Just, it's insane. Just, whoa, dude. Everything about this sync is fucking perfect. From the effects to the audio mastering, even the small bits of music theory you put in with like the Genji sword and stuff, and the Hanzo. Yeah, it's just, I'm at a loss of, once again I'm at a loss of words. This, whoa, it's just, this is just, I can't describe it. It's just so well made. There's a theme going on. Right? You got a theme going on. You got amazing audio mastering. You put the volume at such a volume. You put the gun sounds at such a volume, all in their respective like place, where it just how do I say this? It feels powerful. It feels as if you're watching a movie. It sets a theme. It's just, this is my sync. This is what I've got to offer. It's just, you can really see that you're giving everything you've got, and that is something I just really admire when watching this sync. It's just really well made.
Incredible.
It's just incredible. A lot of respect, man. Like, that.
And if I'm not mistaken, too, the Storm Down had a very solid round 2 submission last year, and just missed out on the finale. And he would have been in the finale if we had a different points, if we didn't have the groups. But this time he earned his way in, and he earned it, man. He really earned it. Just every last bit of it. Like I'm so happy that this guy gets to compete as well, and it's just awesome. And with that, that's our round 2 results, ladies and gentlemen. So to wrap this up, to give discussion to the top 10 sinkers that will be competing in the finale of the Kings of Sinks competition. So from this date, from this moment forth, you will have about 2 months or so to complete your final round submissions. So in terms of the due date here, we're looking at having the finale sinks due on Saturday, November 23rd. That's when these final submissions are going to be due. And then when December comes around, that will be when we announce who is the winner. And it'd be cool if we do get the announcement video out for Christmas, or maybe like a little bit after, or
Yeah.
or something like that. But ladies and gentlemen, those in the finale, there will also be a 2-week drop-off period, where if any of the sinkers in the top 10 need to drop for whatever reason, then you need to let me know within those 2 weeks, unless it's a technical issue. So then we can get another sinker into the finale that is, say, 11th or 12th or 13th, that actually will earn their way in through that way if someone decides to drop. So Flying Cucumber, GMLX, Stan, QAQ, 11th through 13th, I'd say in this case. Just keep an eye out. You may come in and replace somebody for the finale, so keep your eyes open. But for all the finale sinkers, you have until November 23rd to finish your final submission, and after that, we'll be ready to crown a champion. And this is going to be nuts. I'm ready for this finale. This is going to be absolutely crazy finale, I think. These 10 are going to give it all they got. And as we wrap this up, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our judges, all of our staff, who have really been putting in a lot of work into, especially this round in particular. They've really stepped it up this round to get everything done a little bit quicker, and especially with school and everything going on. I understand that people got stuff going on, but thank you guys. And thank you to all the competitors who competed in round number 2, as well as all the competitors who take part in this competition and are part of this community. And this Kings of Sinks Season 5 has not disappointed so far. I'm pretty happy with what I've been seeing so far. And We wish the top 10 competitors the best of luck in the Kings of Sync Season 5 finale. So until the finale, we'll see you then.